All right, so let's share some strategies. Who did I have coming up first? Brianne. You can put it right on top of the book. All right, Brianne, tell us what you did.
Okay, this was my beginning attempts, and then this is what my final product
Okay.
looks like. In the beginning, I knew a flat equaled 100, and I was using longs to get 12 groups. But I noticed it only equaled 120.
Oh, okay.
And since I know multiplication, I was kind of working backwards to get to 144 for the sake of this problem. But I was just really confused on how to get there. And then I remembered each long has 10 ones.
Not 12.
Yes.
Right. So what did you do? Can you go put it up a little bit higher? There. Show me your picture. All right. So now you drew your flat, which you know is 100. And then what did you do here? You added 2 more. Why did you do that?
To have 12.
12. Okay. So you have 12 rows or 12 columns of 10. Okay. But we know it's 12 columns of 12. So what did you do to make up for those other that were missing?
I used the ones and added 2 ones on top of each long.
Oh, so now you have 10 and then 11, 12. So now you have a column of 12 each. Okay, so you did that, and you did that for all the 10s. Okay, so now you've represented 12 by 12. Okay, but you know that this is worth 100. All right, so what did you do up here? Tell me what you did with those ones.
I know how to count by tens, and I know that there's 10 ones in a long, so I circled them to count them fast.
Okay, so what you did is you put them to groups of 10. Let's see if you've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and then you have 2 and 2. So you grouped them by, is this 10 or 12? So you put them in groups of 12, not 10s. That's fine. And this, okay, so because if you did groups of 10, so let's say you put it in groups of 10. Did anybody see what the problem would be? Does anybody see what would happen, like if she put them in groups of 10 based on the circle she has? Does anybody see an issue? Can anybody construct a viable argument to tell me why this picture wouldn't represent what she has there? Because let's say she thought she knows this is 100, right? And let's say she said this is a group of 10, this group of 10. So I got 100 plus 110, 20, 30, 40. Can anybody tell me construct a viable argument to tell me what would be the problem with this representation? What does she need to change? Amy?
Assuming if you're, from what you explained, like counting, like it's a 10 frame.
Okay.
You would see that the circle is like, oh yeah, like quickly you would be like, that's 10 because it's in a 10 frame.
Right.
So when you counted like that, you were counting in 10s rather than that being 12, that being 10 instead.
Oh, so what happened is she circled 12 here, but she circled how many here? 10. So what happened though, because if she thinks it's groups of 10, if she thinks it's group of 10, based on her picture, what would she actually get as an answer?
142.
142 because there's 2 left here. So based on the way you have it, right? So this is a group of 12, right? And this is a group of 10 and 2 more. So how did you get 140? Did you think you just knew it was 144?
Yeah.
And then, but you just circled, so if you change it, if we put these 2 here, or, you got it, erases. Okay, so how can we fix that? Okay, group of 10.
I naturally saw like these two, like these
Right.
4 as their own group.
Oh, okay.
So-
You just kind of in your head, but you just
Yeah.
circled it. So can you fix it so that those are by themselves now? Excellent. Now, if we look at it, we can say this is 100, right? 110, 120, 130, 140, 41, 42, 43, 44. Excellent job. I like your picture here. That's great. Okay, do you see there how I wanted you to think about how her picture did not really represent what total she got? Does that make sense? And how I asked you to construct viable arguments. So I heard Allie go, oh, like he was like, oh, I see it. Okay, so that's what I'm looking at. And your students you need to, like, if they can't see it, you want to point it out. It's not that Brianne got the wrong answer, but we want to make sure that our representation matches our answer. Okay, and if another student had written that, like you had the right answer, right? But what if you had written 142? Would I still have that student come up? Yes. But then I would have them say, okay, does anybody see, it's like, so everyone else probably got 144, right? Or several people, right? And so somebody would say, oh, I see what you did. So you're wanting them to find how to correct it and construct those viable arguments. Good. Who was second? Come on up. You can put it right on top of the book. Yep. All right. Move it down just a little bit. All right. Well, this looks a little familiar. So tell us what you did, Lauren.
So I first started by drawing like this big blue box is that represents the tiles.
Oh, okay. So did you represent, so in purple, is that a flat?
Yeah, so
Oh,
the purple
okay.
is flat, but the highlighted blue is the whole box. And
Oh,
then
okay.
with the purples, I went and saw like how many a flat can fit in here. So I saw what a flat could.
So in the purple is your flat, and then you said, well, that's 10 by 10. Yeah. So you added 2 more 10s up here, and 2 10s on this side. But then tell me about the green.
Well, then when we added 2 more 10s, we still had a little section up here that wasn't accounted for. So I put that in green, and that was 4 little tiles.
Right, to fill up that area. Also because the fact that it's 12 by 12, because if you didn't fill that in, then on either side it would just be 10s here and here, but you still have to make it 12 by 12. So tell us, how did you add it all together, Lauren? Did you start with 100?
Yeah, so I started with 100. So I saw there was 1 flat in there, which is 100, and then there was 1, 2, 3, 4 longs.
Oh.
And 4 longs, each one is worth 10. So 4 would be 40.
Okay.
And then at the end here, we had the 4 green cubes, which I added up there. So
Wow.
you had 100 plus 40 plus 4 equals 144.
So can somebody tell me what they notice about the bottom there? The 100 plus 40 plus 4 and what it equals? What do you notice? Amy? Yes. If we look at the number 144, can you push that up for me? Just all the way up? No, this way. Yeah. If we look at this, okay, what's this number? What's the answer, class? 144. Good. How many hundreds are there? 1. How many tens are there? 4. And how many ones are there? 4. And you notice when she was making her picture, she actually coincidentally made it into the place value because she has 100, 4 longs, and 4 ones. Do you see that? Excellent. Okay. Who was third? Come on up, Alec.
So I kind of almost did the same thing as Lauren, pretty much. I kind of did 2 drawings, so you can't really, my first one's bad. But I started off, I wanted to just kind of use, like you said, like a base 10 block and use those to kind of recreate the counter. So I started off with like my flat, and I knew that would just be 100. And at first I started off just adding the 10s, and I kind of...
Well, I like this here. So you knew that 100 was 10 tens. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and you just counted by tens, and you knew that got 100. Okay, good. And then what did you do next?
So then that's when I added, I knew that there would be 2 more on each side if I needed 12, so I added 2 of the longs on each side. And then that's when I knew, I kind of did them separately. I did 10 plus 10, 20, 10 plus 10, 20. So I knew both of those sections were 20, and then I added them together to get 40.
Nice.
And kind of similar to Lauren, I had that corner that was just kind of a chunk missing. So I filled that in with my smalls, and then I just added that to, or I did my 140 first, and then my 140 plus 4, 144.
Good. How is this illustration different than the first two? What is he doing additional? Why did I have him come third? Give you time to think. Amy's being really great. Why did I have him come third? Yes, Lauren.
Because he wrote out the equations for
Yes, he included number sentences. So I know this student understands the addition. Okay, so he's beyond. He had a picture here. He uses the base 10 blocks as his picture. But if you notice, he's putting number sentences here to show his thinking. Okay? Some people, like if you notice the first two kind of like had arrows to say this is 100, this is 10, and then they kind of went 100, 10, 20, like they used the picture to count. But he's actually showing the scaffolding of adding each of the numbers together. Excellent. Okay? Who's fourth? Selena. All right. Oh, wow. Okay.
I wrote out the tiles, and I knew it was 12 times 12.
Okay.
Well, I kind of wanted to split up 12 times 12 to make it easier for me to solve it.
So when you said 12 by 12, so you split it up by place out, kind of like what we do with the split strategy, the tens and ones. So you were like, I want to split it up in friendlier numbers to add, to multiply.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
12 is 10 and 2. So I wrote that right here and over here. And then I did 10 times 10, which is 100.
Okay, hold on just a second. I'm going to show them how you knew that comes together. So you created like a box here, and each place value is going to have its own place. So
Yeah.
when you were doing 10 times 10, you brought it here.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be 10 times 10, which is 100. And then here, you would come across this way, and that would be 10 times 2 because you're putting these two together, these two together, these two together, and then these two together. And she wrote it in the box, which was really good. So we kind of know how it comes together. So keep going.
Then with my answers that I got in each box, to get my answer, I needed to add those. So I did 100 plus 20 plus another 20 plus 4, and then I got my answer.
Nice. Yeah, and you didn't even have to regroup by doing that. So how did you know that 10 times 2 was 20? What did you do to get that? What did you do in your head?
I know 1 times 2 is 2, and then you add the 0.
Oh.
And I did that the same with 10 times 10. I know 1 times 1 is 1, and then I added 2 zeros.
Oh, so you know that you can look at the amount of zeros. So she said, I'm just going to look at the farthest digit and do 1 times 1 is 1. And then how many zeros do you see in these two numbers, class? 2. So she added 2 zeros. Like this one right here, it's 10 times 2. 1 times 2 is what? 2. And then she added, how many zeros do you see in 10 and 2? 1. And you can add a 0 there. But what would others do? What would others do, probably? Yeah, they may not know that, especially now. What would they do, Brianne?
Count by 10.
Yes. So they'd say, oh, well, I know 10 by 10 is a flat, and I know a flat has 100, and 10 times 2, 10, 20. Okay, so this student has an advanced understanding not only of place value, but also multiplication. Would I not show this? Oh, definitely show this. But I'm going to have, some students are going to be go like, oh, like there's no way I understand that. And that's okay. But if you notice, the strategies that were presented, they all got the same answer. Okay? All right, excellent. And this is called area model, and you're going to learn about this when we do our strategies. Did anyone have a different way that they showed their thinking they'd like to share? Did anybody do it a different way? I think I got most of them.